VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back here to post a quick video. Let me adjust my camera here a little bit. This is a video response for our boy Robert Z, his 500 subscribers contest. First and foremost, Rob, congratulations on the 500 subs. I mean, you're well known throughout the VC. You're the character, you're the man, great collection, the whole nine. Love it to death. So as part of his contest, one of the things he asked us to do was to not dress like we normally do and kind of, do something very different, wacky, whatever the case may be. So I thought, man, the coolest thing in the world would be able to get up today, or tonight I should say, time warp right back to the 70s, go out to the disco, actually the time period where I actually would go clubbing, because I don't do the club thing now, but there's no way you would have been able to keep me out of the discos back in the 70s. So I thought I'd take a quick time warp, put on some nice little 70s gear, got the nice little shirt that would look awesome in the disco lights, little hat going on. I know you guys are digging the kicks. I know you're digging the shoes and the kicks, right? Or the socks and the kicks. But anyway, let me just kind of get right into the video part of this, answer to Rob's question, which was, it was about Grails. That's what he was talking about. Basically kind of show your Grails and tell you why you think they're Grails and that type of thing. He was making some really good points throughout the course of this video about, the word Grail kind of being thrown around all the time. And I can kind of see why it is, because Grail is so subjective, what the total Grail to someone else could mean nothing to me, or something I could have had in my collection forever and never even thought about it. And then vice versa too, something I think's a Grail someone else thinks is, the last thing they've been wanting in their clip, blah, blah, blah. So I think Grail gets thrown around because it is so subjective, and most things that people find that they say are Grails, to them really are Grails. That's the great thing about music, is it is so subjective. It's just kind of whatever you feel. So these are a few of my Grails, and basically what I did was just kind of went to my black box. I mean, those of you who've been around for quite some time, you know about my my black box. So let me open this door. I see it's kind of a lot of reflecting going on in that glass. But okay, so let me just kind of go through and show a few of them. I have a number of things that I consider to be Grails. Maybe it's something else I should say first. I think when you start talking about Grails, there's a number of different ways to define Grails. Something you've just wanted for a long period of time, has nothing to do with value or anything, just have not been able to find it. Something that's worth a lot, or something that just has a lot of meaning to you. Average record, maybe most of us can find easily, doesn't really cost that much, but it's just something that has such a sentimental meaning to you in some way, shape, or form. So again, there's a lot of different definitions of Grails. So like, for example, something like Teen Wolf soundtrack. That's one that I wanted for a long time and had the hardest time finding it. I found one for about $20, $25 one time. In my collection, that is, kind of a Grail, but in the context of just maybe, record collecting in general, it's not necessarily a Grail. So there are some that I kind of left out, like the Teen Wolf soundtrack or Better Off Dead, that in some sense are kind of Grails to me. But these are the few that I kind of limited it to. And Rob also did kind of explain why they're Grails to you. So first one here, AC/DC, Stiff Upper Lip. And just plain and simple, this is not an easy one to find. I mean, out of all the studio albums of AC/DC, this is the one that was the most challenging to get a hold of. That's kind of why it's considered a Grail to me. This one is definitely a Grail. Stone Temple Pilots Core, and this is the original pressing. So now, it may not seem as much of a Grail to most people now that the reissue just came out, the 180-gram reissue. But prior to that, getting your hands on one of these was extremely hard. And so between the rarity of the record, the original pressing, how great the music is, this was truly a Grail for me. And I still consider this one of the best Grails in my collection. Perfect condition. Here's another one too, kind of based on value, condition, pressing, and all of that. This is a sealed copy, 2002 pressing of Sigur Ros's Untitled album. And again, the 2002 pressing, not the reissue that came out a couple years ago. And it's still sealed as well. I know those 02 pressings are just very sought after, period, but to even have one that's a sealed copy, that's why I've just kind of refused to open this. And I actually had one of the new reissue copies, so I kept this one sealed. But that's definitely a grail in my collection right there. That's not an easy album to get, especially a sealed one. Same thing here with Scorpions' Virgin Killer, with the band cover. Again, not an easy one to find. Really, they won't even let you list these on eBay when you talk about how hard it can be to get your hands on one. They tend to knock off the listings. So, again, just kind of an original pressing with the band cover. Those are not easy to find whatsoever, and this is one that I hunted for quite some time. So I definitely consider that a grail. Next here, this one I could kind of put in or put out, but Pantora Live original pressing. Again, they had the reissue that came out a couple years ago, but this is one of the original pressings. I do consider this somewhat of a grail because, again, unless we're willing to shell out $100+ to just, to go buy one, the first one you stumbled across online, it took a bit of searching and wheeling and dealing to get one for, much less than that. So I definitely consider that a grail. Another one that's not easy to find, kind of the reason why I consider this one a grail, U2. All That You Can't Leave Behind. Definitely a grail. One of the more rare U2 albums to find. Again, in mint condition. This one kind of goes without saying, too. I mean, Smashing Pumpkins' Melancholy, Infinite Sadness. Whether you have one of the original pressings or the reissues, I think just having this album is a grail within your collection. And definitely one for mine. Again, another one that's, I consider this a grail, not easy to find. I think only 5,000 copies of these were made. Dave Matthews Band, These Crowded Streets. So again, kind of the value and rarity, and also having one in, absolute perfect condition from front to back. This is definitely one of the top 3 grails in my collection. And then this goes back to kind of the sentimental value piece I was talking about, because I definitely consider this one of the top grails in my collection, even though I think I paid $19, $18 for this. So again, wasn't something that cost me a ton, but Sam Maguana and the African All-Stars. And I've told this story before when I showed a video a year or so ago when I first got this record. My dad used to listen to a lot of African music back in the day, and he had this 8-track that he had a bunch of random songs recorded on, no artist titles or anything. And so I used to listen to that, and I fell in love with this song, but I had no idea who the artist was, the name. Neither did he. One of his students had made it for him a long time ago. So I had literally spent, since childhood, 20+ years of loving this song and having a very bad recording of it on an old cassette tape that I dubbed off of the 8-track, and just had no clue. And just, one thing led to another, and I found out what it was. And to find 70s African music on vinyl, I mean, there's just not a lot of that stuff floating around whatsoever. And so when I stumbled across this one, which I actually purchased, to the UK, or was it actually in Africa? I can't remember. It was somewhere overseas. And, I got that and just thought, wow, wow, wow. So again, this is an absolute grail for me. The rarity of the music, the rarity of the artist himself, the rarity of finding any of that stuff from that time period for, $18, $19, this is the absolute grail. Definitely one of my top 3. And the last one here, I think this is a grail more so just on just the pressing and, you know, value and all of that stuff. But Sonny Rollins, Tour de France, or Tour de Force, I'm sorry. This is the Prestige 7126 original deep groove pressing. Again, perfect condition. And I actually found this one at a record show for $3. I found this, and I also found a deep groove pressing of who was that? The pianist. I can't remember his name now. But anyway, I found this one and that other one. I don't know why I can't remember the name of the artist, for $3 each, and I decided to go ahead and sell the other one, and I sold it on eBay for like $205. And I've seen these on eBay going for well over $200. But this one is in such perfect condition, I decided, let me hold on to it for a while, you know. But, so yeah, I think this is definitely a Grail too, just kind of based on rarity and price and condition. You know, it's in perfect condition. And I've actually been considering, in case any of you are interested, I've been really wanting to get a pair of B&W bookshelf speakers. So I've been considering selling this to kind of help use some of that money to buy a new set of those speakers. So if any of you out there have a set of those speakers or interested in this album to a, you know, a great degree, I'm not like, you know, itching to sell it, so to speak, but I will if it kind of works good towards maybe getting some of those speakers. Let me kind of know, because I don't listen to it that much. It's definitely a good album, but it's not one that I spend regularly. It's just really the value and the fact I got it for only $3. So that's awesome. And I feel even better about that because with both of those records I was talking about, I didn't rip the guy off because I had no idea what they were actually worth. He just saw me with a Miles Davis record in my hand, and as I was walking away, he said, hey, 'cause they were packing up towards the end. He's like, I had some jazz records I got the other day, and if you want them, $3 a piece. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll look at them. And he had a few different things there, and I said, I don't know these two guys, but I know Sonny Rollins, so yeah, I'll give that a try for $3. Had no clue. And now I want to shoot myself in the head because I should have got all of the crap because those other artists I didn't know, I'm sure were worth a ton too. They were, you know, Blue Note Prestige type pressings as well, but it was still a good day, so I'm not going to complain. So anyway, there you go, Robert. Those are what I consider to be kind of the bulk of my Grails. Those are the ones I keep in my black box. I have maybe 3 or 4 other records in there that I keep, but I don't necessarily consider those Grails. And again, man, congratulations on the 500 subs. And as always, we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, my friend. Oh, and I will be back this afternoon. I'm going to do my contest drawing today, and I'll probably couple that video with a kind of a new finds and what I've been spinning. All right. So right now, I'm just going to go get my groove on, finish out my Hollywood's Nice Disco. All right, and VC, we will see you guys later. Again, congrats, Rob.